What's up, Shift Yes Tribe? Week 3, talking about being a better employee. This week is gonna be a little bit delicate because I'm talking about something that I have to walk on some glass. I'm basically gonna say some stuff that you don't like. But before I do that and you turn on me, I just wanna as a disclaimer, I am pro-employee to my core. I think companies should pay people well, should focus on culture and prioritize employee experience and be good and exceptional to employees and take care of them, absolutely. But this week we're talking about change and how much employees and people suck at change, because that is true. People in general, in teams and organizations, are absolutely miserable at change. And the reality about this is that we have to shift our mindsets and our reaction and approach to changes that happen, because change is absolutely constant. It is it's a requirement for your company to survive over time, to innovate and make changes and upgrade software and do things that are different so that they can survive in business. It is your responsibility as an employee, as part of a team, to put your oar in the water and row along with everybody else. That is your responsibility to the company. The truth about this dynamic, whether people like to hear this or not, is that you have a contract with your company and organization. They are paying you money to execute their business plan, whether you like it or not. That's the situation there. And if you want to be responsible for all of the changes, go start your own company. Companies and organizations have a right to make changes and update software and et cetera. They can do that. Your responsibility is to also contribute and perform and be an employee there. Something to give you some perspective and a mindset around change to think about is this. When you got hired for your job, you were able to learn all of the software systems, processes of how you perform your job and what that looks like and how they do things there. No problem. You learned all those things, great. And remember that you could change literally everything in your organization. You could change your systems, software, processes, everything, and hire someone the next day, and that person would be able to learn all of those processes and systems no problem, just like you did when you got your job. And if that was you would be able to be hired and learn all those things and be fine. But as the employee, we change how things are done, and the employee that's still there, people lose their minds about it. We're so reluctant to things changing, and it's not because we're not able to or capable of learning and adapting and being flexible. You're a perfectly intelligent adult. You can do those things. It is your narrative and mindset and reaction to change that makes it so terrible for you, your company, everybody. And I talk to CEOs, HR people, executives, organizations where it's such a huge problem. They make any change, they update something, and people lose their minds. It's stop. We have to stop being so bad at change. You want to be a good employee, change your mindset and reaction to change. So, flip side of this, I do want to address the fact that some changes suck. And some of them are a huge impact to us. And the truth about this also is that some companies don't care about you. They will some changes are half this whole department was laid off. Now my workload is tripled. I get paid the same amount and the company doesn't care. There's a whole spectrum of how companies treat people. And it's true that some companies will exploit people. They don't care. It's workload. They make more money and that is their focus, is profit over people. I do think as an employee, you have a right to go to leadership, and get clarity around a change of can you help fill me in about why this is beneficial for us or whatever. Or if you see parts of changes that are less efficient and there could be tweaks that are made, they're this would actually be more efficient for us. You certainly have a right to bring that up to leadership. Just know that companies, again, there's a huge spectrum of companies there. Some companies and organizations might be really receptive to that. Thank you for the feedback and be transparent. This is why we made this change. This is the benefit to everybody. And thanks for the feedback. And maybe they make tweaks. And the company might also be too bad, be quiet, go do your job, get screwed, we tell you what to do, and that's it. You have to make a choice as a person of either you can stay and get on board and have a good mindset around that, or leave. Give feedback to your company in the form of quitting your job if you need to. Just don't stay in the middle of I'm gonna stay but be miserable and bent out of shape. It is not your organization and your teammates job to drag you through the mud reluctantly because you are bent about some change that happened that you can't get on board with. Just don't stay in that middle ground place. To wrap things up, there's 2 ideas that I want to share that I think are really relevant to this conversation, by Cy Wakeman, who does a lot of really great work with organizations and change and mindsets around stuff. She's brilliant. But one is that buy-in is not optional, and it shouldn't be. It's not a choice whether you buy in or not as an employee. That is your responsibility. And the second one is that change is not hard, attachment is hard. Our attachment to the way things used to be and doing things the same way, that is what makes change torturous and miserable manageable for us versus like we can navigate it and just like approach it and like rise to the challenge of change. So that is it around change. Stop being resistant, reluctant, forcing people to drag you through the mud, being bent out of shape. Like start embracing change. It is a reality. Like have a different mindset, a different reaction to change, because you have a responsibility to your company, your team, people around you, and yourself to just like have a good mindset and like move forward and be productive. Goggles, science goggles. Hey guys, this week we're talking about plate tectonics. Have you ever been to the bottom of a subduction zone? I love science. A hot spot. Hawaii is actually a hot spot. That's why there's a trail of islands. As the plate moves over top of the hot spot, it leaves a trail of islands. Now you know something about science. Can we do a month about science? Rainbows are science. Light refraction. Water molecules holding onto each other's hands because they love each other, like, I love you guys. So you fill up a glass and it goes higher than the edge, but the water doesn't spill and it's a bubble, and this water molecules are like, I got you, baby.